Hi, and welcome. My name is Amanda, host of Michigan Music Fusion, where we have and feature and showcase Michigan, our state's musicians. And we get to learn about their who and what inspires them. We get to hear their stories and, most importantly, their songs. So, and we all do that here at the Lansing Public Media Center. And tonight we have Jenny Bonner, and you have a special guest with us too.
I have brought with me Eldon. He's my husband, but he started as my co-producer on my first album that we released last year. So.
That's awesome. Hello. So Jenny, tell me about your inspirations.
Well, I've been a musician my whole life. I started piano when I was 5 years old and started the cello when I was 11. So I'd have to say my influences are very broad. I think that I identify with lots of the singer-songwriter folk kind of music, Carole King, the Indigo Girls. Of course, I had to listen to those in college, and yeah. So you have a song that you're going to perform tonight for us. Can you tell us a little bit about that song? Sure. We're going to play, the first song we're going to play for you is called Moving On, and it was a single that we released off my EP last year called Moments, and it really, I think, is my style, a little folk singer-songwriter. We're doing an acoustic version of with piano and acoustic guitar. On the EP, we had a bass also. It's really just about life's transitions, moving on from one adventure to the next. So.
Okay. So, do you want to go ahead and start that song for us?
Sure.
And go ahead and sing. Yay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Leave it behind from
you so much. Now I was feeling how you were playing the piano, very touching. I love the piano. So you also teach.
Yes, I actually teach orchestra and songwriting. I play the cello and consider myself to be a performing cellist. But I teach orchestra to middle schoolers and high schoolers in Waverly. Mm-hmm. And this past year we started a songwriting class, so that's very exciting.
Yep. Yeah. So you said a little bit earlier to me, which I found very interesting, that you received a Grammy from. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I didn't receive a Grammy.
Well, I'm sorry.
I was a quarterfinalist for a Music Educator Grammy Award that is given every year to an outstanding music educator. So
yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. One of my colleagues and former professors, Dr. Robinson at MSU, nominated me for that, and then I advanced through the process.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
So you have some new and upcoming events coming up. Would you like to tell us about that?
Sure. Well, we're actually right now in the recording process.
Yay,
We're
awesome.
We're working on a new EP called Pine Hill Sessions, and that has an interesting story to it.
Okay.
You want to hear?
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm from Alabama.
Nope.
And you didn't hear?
No, I
the
didn't hear
accent?
it.
Someone
Yeah,
picked
no.
up on it today. That was and my parents right now, they live in Pine Hill, Alabama. So I brought Eldon down to meet them this summer, and we decided we're going to write an EP. We're going to write some songs about our experience, and so every song on there is taken from just something that we did when we were visiting there. Yep.
Yeah, so now that's the one with the video.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that the song that you're going to be singing next?
Yes.
Or? Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you want to go ahead and sing that now?
Sure. Well, I'll just lead into it a little bit and tell you a little bit about it. So,
absolutely.
This is a song called "Wrong Side of the Tracks," and it was a song that we wrote after visiting Selma. I used to live in Selma, Alabama, which of course is very famous for its civil rights movement, the Selma to Montgomery March, and so we were just walking through all those historical markers this summer, and passing by places that I remembered when I lived there. We lived there for about 4 years. My dad is a Methodist minister, and he pastored a church there. My mom taught at one of the schools there, actually in the neighborhood close to Brown Chapel, which is a famous historical marker. Obama spoke there a couple years ago, and Martin Luther King, of course, led the march from that church. So we were visiting Selma and just walking through all those historical markers, and it was difficult for me to see it because all this history, all this progress that we've made as a country, and we still haven't figured some things out, like poverty. The church where Martin Luther King spoke is just right in the middle of the projects, the George Washington Carver homes, and so that really played at my heartstrings, and so the song is about that. It's a way that I connected to the people who still live in poverty in Selma. So it's about a little girl that I imagined who lives in those projects, and just my message of hope to her, that you still live in poverty, you still live on the wrong side of the tracks, so to speak. I lived on the wrong side of the tracks too many times in my life, and I know Eldon did as well.
What was cool is we went down to Selma. It was my first time last summer, and I was able to see the city for its history, and so it inspired Jenny to write this song. So we went back about 6 months later, but we went back with a purpose because we thought of this video concept. So when we went back, we shot the video in these historical places, and we were able to utilize this little girl who was part of Jenny's imagination that actually lived right in George Washington Carver neighborhood. And so we had her part of the video, which you'll see in the video. So it was really cool to involve her.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay.
And you can see this video online, Jenny's website, jennybonner.com, and it's on YouTube and all the social media sites.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
posters painted on brick walls. Memories of a picnic left on sidewalks. Thoughts of those who lost their life for all. Slogan painted posters, they're just an afterthought. We are fools to think we'd understand. We are fools to think we'd understand. Rooms too small to hold all your dreams. Conversations heard through open windows. Friends that never visit, so it seems. Streets with holes that when it rains they overflow. We are fools to think we'd understand. We are fools to think we'd understand. Life is hard enough for living. Go on like you are forgiven. No one needs to know you're living on the wrong side of the tracks. Haunt you watching images of hate. Some who keep you safe have broken promises. Seems you'll never get to leave this place. Hope and fear together, working opposite. We are fools to think we'd understand. We are fools to think we'd understand. Life is hard enough for living. Go on like you are forgiven. No one needs to know you're living on the wrong side of the streets at night. Are safer still. You can wrap yourself in veils of darkness and find your peace at last.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Okay, so Jenny, can you tell us a really interesting story about one of your guys' adventures together?
So we've already talked about Alabama and our trip down there. I think that's probably, as songwriters, that's probably one of the most fun things that we've done. You know, besides playing gigs and just that whole process of creating. I think traveling to Alabama and deciding to be intentional about going to Alabama and looking at that place that I grew up through the lens of a songwriter. You know, Pine Hill is in the middle of the country, and so we spent a lot of nights stargazing this summer. And why don't you?
Yeah, it was cool because, again, the intention was to write some songs with the influences of Alabama. So we were out stargazing on the back of Jenny's parents' home, and in the middle of nowhere, but it's beautiful at night. It was a clear sky, and so we go Alabama Sky Night. Let's use that as a theme.
Yeah.
So then that kind of triggered some beginning words, and
That's
then
awesome.
just Jenny, her son and I were out there actually joking about the song a little bit, and so she said, "Get out of here!" So so we left.
Because I'm definitely not a country singer, so
Yeah,
we're songwriters.
We were writing kind of a country song, so we left, and she really used that time to focus and crafted this lyric and a melody. And then the next day, she was at the piano, and I grabbed the guitar. She started singing it, which kind of started crafting the song at that point.
Oh,
So it was
great.
really cool.
And I think what's neat
Lovely.
too about writing a song in a place and with that intention is that it really stretches you as a songwriter. And so that's one thing that we learned too, because I think I'm very comfortable writing ballads. I played 2 ballads for you today, but Alabama Sky Night is an Americana song, and G's Bend, all the songs that are coming out of that EP sound very different and stretched me as a songwriter. So that was
Great.
fun.
It's also interesting because the songs are crafted initially down in Alabama, but we're going to record them here in Michigan. So we actually recorded her recent single at Elm Street Recording in Rio Town. So we used local recording engineers, and it was great to work with someone like Ryan Wirt, and he's a local talent in terms of audio engineer. Get his influences. He gave some good feedback, so we modified not the song but some of the musical structure of it. And we like to work with local artists too, like recording engineers.
That's great. So I want to thank you guys for coming out to the Lansing Media Center. And if you're interested in coming to the Lansing Media Center, you can contact us here at lansingmedia.com and come back next week. And thank you so much. Bye-bye.